Look, this guy doesn't know what resistance is or nonviolent resistance is. He's a bad politician. It's amazing. I mean, if he didn't have the money, he wouldn't get any votes because there's no compelling reason to vote for him. The guy's a major loser. But it would be nice if he would call me. I would change my mind immediately. He said, because everybody knows Chicago is a hellhole right now. Everybody knows it. It's not like he's saying, Chicago has much better numbers, right? Well, what's much better? You mean 100 people are going to be murdered? It's going to be much more than that. So I would have much more respect for Pritzker if he'd call me up and say, I have a problem. Can you help me fix it? I would be so happy to do it. I don't love, not that I don't have the right to do anything I want to do. I'm the president of the United States. If I think our country's in danger, and it is in danger in these cities, I can do it. No problem going in and solving his difficulties. But it would be nice if they'd call and they'd say, would you do it? And we do it in conjunction.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that's been dominating headlines and sparking heated debates across the country. The escalating crisis of crime in Chicago. This isn't just statistics on a page. This is about real people, families torn apart, neighborhoods under siege, and a city that's long been synonymous with violence. As someone who's followed urban issues for years, I have to say, the situation in Chicago demands our attention. It's serious, it's urgent, and it's time we talk about solutions, including the bold steps being proposed by President Trump. Let's break it down.
I really am honored that the National Guard has done such an incredible job working with the police, and we haven't had to bring in the regular military, which we're willing to do if we have to. And after we do this, we'll go to another location and we'll make it safe also. We're going to make our country very safe. We're going to make our cities very, very safe. Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this. And it won't even be tough. And the people in Chicago, Mr. Vice President, are screaming for us to come. They're wearing red hats, just like this one. But they're wearing red hats. African-American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago. Please.
I want to say thank you to our president, the people's president, like I keep saying, the real MVP, President Donald J. Trump. Thank you, President Trump, for hearing us, for listening to us. We need you here in Chicago, not just to see the National Guard. And we're asking one more thing. We need you to come in and investigate the Brandon Johnson administration, the Pritzker administration, and Tony Pritzker and CTU. Hey, it's all hands on deck. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you.
First, let's address the elephant in the room. Just how bad is crime in Chicago right now? Despite some reports claiming a historic drop in violent crime, during the first half of the numbers tell a more nuanced and troubling story. According to the Chicago Police Department's CompStat data, murders are down 10% year-to-date compared to 2024, but that's still 52 homicides through week 7 of 2025 alone. Robberies, down slightly at 6%, but criminal sexual assaults are up 15% in some metrics. And let's not forget the broader trends. Chicago's homicide rate remains alarmingly high, around 20 per 100,000 residents, dwarfing safer cities like New York at 5.5. The Council on Criminal Justice notes that while violent crimes are falling nationally, including in Chicago, the city is still on pace for hundreds of murders this year. Residents aren't imagining this. Shootings and homicides might be down 30% through mid-2025, but carjackings, retail thefts, and gang violence continue to plague communities, especially on the south and west sides. People live in fear of being caught in crossfire, with over 800 shootings year to date. This isn't a decline worth celebrating. It's a persistent nightmare that's eroded the quality of life for everyday Chicagoans. Now, enter President Donald Trump, who's not mincing words. He's repeatedly threatened to deploy the National Guard to Chicago, insisting the city desperately needs help to clean up the streets. In recent statements, Trump has said the military could move in on less than 24 hours' notice.
We can go anywhere on less than 24 hours notice. Chicago's a disaster, and the governor of Illinois should say, President, would you do us the honor of cleaning up our city? We need help. They need help. They need help. We may wait. We may or may not. We may just go in and do it, which is probably what we should do.
Drawing from the success in Washington, D.C., where crime dropped 26% and homicides fell 12% after similar deployments. He's framing this as part of a broader crackdown on urban violence, targeting cities like Chicago, New York, and Baltimore, where he says lawlessness has spiraled out of control. Critics call it overreach, but Trump argues it's necessary when local leaders fail.
This is not about fighting crime. This is about Donald Trump searching for any justification to deploy the military in a blue city, in a blue state, to try and intimidate his political rivals. This is about the President of the United States and his complicit lackey, Stephen Miller, searching for ways to lay the groundwork to circumvent our democracy, militarize our cities, and end elections.
And let's be honest, after years of soft on crime policies, including catch and release for offenders, this kind of federal intervention might be the shock the system needs to restore order.
What's going on in Chicago? You got progressive Mayor Brandon Johnson, who's allowed a policy that was originally pushed by Lori Lightfoot, the former mayor, the no chase policy as an example, where police officers cannot pursue a suspect on foot or in car without calling their supervisors first. They got to get permission, which means the suspect has gotten away already. Or things like policies like the Safety Act, which is a new policy statewide, which allows for criminals to really run freely. It ends cash bail for most offenses. For some of these offenses, they have these ankle monitor bracelets, which a report came out showing that they had over 100 people who were accused of murder with these ankle monitor bracelets on. And now with the Safety Act, instead of when they go out, because you go out of range in your home, and the police will call you and see where you are and then, come to your house to check to see if you're there. Now they have it set up that the police cannot respond to an alert from the ankle monitor bracelet for 72 hours, which means you go out and murder the person who said you did it. And you got 72 hours to get the crime done and get away with it. This is the reality that we're living in. It's Gotham City in the city.
But here's where it gets even more complicated. The influx of illegal immigrants is undeniably worsening the way of life in Chicago.
Migrants are learning much more about the migrant crisis here in Chicago. I spoke to Christina Passione-Zayas, the city's first deputy chief of staff. She gave me insight on how the crisis is impacting the city and state financially.
We have more people coming in than we actually have transitioning out of shelters.
Already this week, 41 buses have rolled into Chicago. That means there are now 11,000 migrants living in shelters. 4,000 are still sleeping on police station floors and staying at the airports. There have been calls by city officials to close the Inn of Chicago shelter site after reports of criminal behavior, including drug sales and prostitution. Passione-Zayas says it's not shutting down.
We are in a lease. That's the other thing.
This chart shows the number of migrant children now enrolled within the Chicago public schools. 30% of migrants here in Chicago are children. The migrant crisis is straining resources. The state is footing the bill for what they call temporary housing. The state is paying on the high end $9,000 in rental assistance over a 6-month period of time. With that comes help moving in and a starter kit to furnish the apartment.
The city, a long-standing sanctuary for migrants since 1985, has seen an estimated 51,000 arrivals, with Illinois projected to spend $2.5 billion on them by year's end. While some studies debunk the migrant crime wave myth, showing undocumented immigrants are less likely to commit crimes than native-born citizens, there are real anecdotes of strain. ICE has arrested criminal aliens involved in heinous acts, like concealing and abusing a missing woman's body after being freed by a sanctuary judge. Beyond crime, the burden on resources is immense. Shelters overflowing, schools stretched thin, and taxpayers footing the bill, while homelessness and addiction among citizens go unaddressed. This isn't scapegoating. It's a direct impact on public safety and community stability, with raids and detentions creating fear, but also highlighting unchecked entries that fuel gang activity and exploitation. At the heart of this mess is Mayor Brandon Johnson, who's been accused of prioritizing illegal immigrants over American citizens.
Well, 34 aldermen voted for the $51 million. It did not come out without a lot of controversy, especially from some black residents who say the money should go towards Chicago residents who have been neglected for years.
Very much committed to a revenue stream or revenue streams that ensure that we are dealing with the crises of those who are unhoused in the city of Chicago, while also making sure that there's room for those that we are welcoming.
We need to allocate some of this money for our black children, for the black community.
$51 million for migrants brought some loud and vocal opposition from the public, to the point where police had to escort people out of the city council meeting several times. Mayor Brandon Johnson asked for a 2-minute breather.
We want to make sure that we can continue to conduct the business of the people.
Johnson has fiercely defended Chicago's sanctuary policies, testifying before Congress that scapegoating immigrants is misleading and unjust. His administration has an entire Office of Immigrant, Migrant, and Refugee Rights committing to improve life for the city's 560,000 foreign-born residents. But critics point out that while billions are funneled to migrants, black communities on the South Side suffer from underfunded schools, rising taxes, and unchecked violence. Johnson has even said he'd support migrants even if it costs federal funds.
Under Mayor Johnson, Chicago has already spent a whopping $527 million taxpayer dollars on the tens of thousands of illegal immigrants living there.
These real Chicagoans, they made their voices heard. They made it clear they don't trust Brandon Johnson, Mayor Johnson, with 50 cents. Okay, they know he's just going to spend that money on migrants and violent teenagers.
All while crime policies like disbanding proactive policing units let offenders walk free. It's a clear choice, sanctuary over safety for tax-paying citizens. And don't get me started on Governor J.B. Pritzker. He's dismissed Trump's National Guard plans outright, vowing to stop any deployment and claiming there's no emergency warranting it.
Well, here I am on the path on the lakefront at 6 a.m. on a Monday. And we got a lot of people running, having a great time. It doesn't feel like a hellhole here. In fact, everybody's having a great time and enjoying themselves. So I don't know who in Washington thinks that Chicago is some sort of hellhole, but you may need to look inward.
Pritzker defends protections for undocumented immigrants, urging Congress to fix the broken system instead of federal intervention. But while he touts crime drops, murders down 32% from last year, he ignores the pleas from residents who need presidential help to combat the violence that's still claiming lives daily. His focus seems more on blocking Trump than backing law enforcement or addressing the root cause affecting American citizens. Finally, let's hear from the people who matter most, Chicago residents themselves.
Okay, I have a list of some of the things that happened in Chicago from Friday till today. And people want to know if we need the National Guard. And this is not a full list of everything that happened in Chicago, so let's just take a look. From the south side to the north side, west, southeast, and downtown. We have a SWAT situation on the west side. $100,000 worth of Louis Vuitton merchandise stolen from downtown. Foot Locker broken into, rammed into with a vehicle. Forgot which location that was. 2 men shot southeast side, woman shot southeast side. Stabbing on the west side, break-in on the southwest side, double shooting inside a liquor store, west side, hostage SWAT situation on the southwest side, fighting on the southeast side, a woman stabbed in the stomach, southeast side, CTA train, a 5-year-old fatally shot on the southeast side, A robbery and a shooting on the north side. Man shot on the Sabo Lakeshore Drive, South Loop. And a shooting in the motel, southwest side. This is not everything that happened from Friday to today. And I'm pretty sure there's more. My sources, ABC News and the Citizen app.
Man, they talking about sending the National Guard to Chicago, man. I'm not gonna lie, this is scary. This is scary. This is scary. This is scary. Send the Marines! Send the Navy! Get chop, bring everything. I want the Army. I want ROTC. I want OOS. I want the tribal chief. Yeet. Yeah, cause Chicago is a hot goddamn mess. I work downtown. I do this every day. I see delinquency. I see violence. I see littering, pollution. I see filth. I see homelessness. I see suffering. Send the whole goddamn fleet. Chicago is hurting. We hurting.
Children can't walk around the community without fear of being hurt or kidnapped or having a drive-by. So it's what these numbers that they're expressing, we don't feel it in our quality of life.
Yes, Donald Trump, man. Donald Trump said that he ready to send the troops to Chicago. And I think that it's good for Chicago, man. If you not doing nothing wrong, you shouldn't be concerned. But if you out here committing crimes and robberies and shooting people, smashing, grabbing, and shit like that, then you got something to worry about. Other than that, if you a civilian and getting your money, selling your little weed, I don't think they gonna mess with you, man. They looking for the killers, man. The people who terrorizing the city. So,
hey, Trump, you need to bring the National Guards to Chicago, man. You got kids killing kids, man. That's not good, man. Washington, D.C. is not much going on compared to Chicago, man. I'm running. It's a war happening right now in Chicago, man. Hey.
Many are crying out for the National Guard to step in and help clean up the crime. From the south and west sides, folks report living in fear of gang violence, drug sales, carjackings, and murders, begging for support to augment overwhelmed police. One local patriot called it a thrilling prospect, slamming leaders for prioritizing migrants over safe streets. Even DC residents have echoed this, noting how guard presence could save lives. Sure, not everyone agrees. Some see it as overreach, but the voices demanding federal help are loud and clear. Enough is enough. In closing, Chicago's crime crisis isn't just numbers. It's a failure of leadership that's left citizens vulnerable. Trump's National Guard proposal might be controversial, but with immigrants straining resources, a mayor more focused on sanctuary than safety, a governor blocking help, and residents pleading for action, it's time for real change. What do you think? Should the Guard deploy? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe for more deep dives. And I'll see you next time. Stay safe out there.